I'm actually still the SEC record holder in the 200 butterfly, one of the fastest Americans of all time. I mean, as you mentioned, that's just blatant misogyny to say I'm bad at swimming. So I'm fortunate that does not hurt my feelings by any means. I'll put it on the record right here. I would love to challenge him to a race.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, when Riley Gaines isn't out here making positive changes for women's sports, getting bills signed that ultimately make women's sports safe and fair again, she's out here on social media completely owning woke liberals like Keith Olbermann, and trust me, this is an understatement. Keith Olbermann, the former MSNBC host, also used to be part of ESPN. It seems like now he uses a lot of his time just sending out some of the most ridiculous posts on social media that really do offer an insight into how these people really think and feel on such things. Anyway, this all initially started on X when Riley Gaines defended the Women's Bill of Rights when State Senator Megan Hunt wasn't too happy that Governor Pillen signed the bill in Nebraska, which essentially protects women's sports and their safe spaces. She went on a little temper tantrum because how dare women get the opportunity to have their sports and safe spaces protected, right? Today, Governor Pillen, famous women's rights supporter, signed this offensive and ridiculous proclamation establishing a Women's Bill of Rights. He should try saying this stuff to my face, then we would see who's got the biological advantage. So that in itself, right, that statement just really tells you all you need to know about someone like this. Riley Gaines then goes on to respond with, defining a woman equals ridiculous to State Senator Megan Hunt, clownface emojis, remember the next election, Nebraskans. Yeah, there are really people out there who don't like the facts that much. They don't like factual definitions, especially when it comes to what it means to be a woman, because it upsets a load of people and agendas, so they go along with the made up one. It's a great time to be living in. However, this is where Keith Olbermann steps in, because he sends out the post in response to Riley Gaines, making the audacious claim that she's a terrible swimmer. Can you just address the reality and move past it? You sucked at swimming, that's why you lost. Yeah, let's just address the reality right here for this guy. First and foremost, Riley Gaines isn't a terrible swimmer. She's one of the most decorated swimmers. I think you should do a little bit more research if you're going to dive deep into such things, no pun intended there. Secondly, all of this stuff is happening. These positive changes are happening. Common sense is being brought back into the fold, which clearly some people just don't like whatsoever, because Riley Gaines and other female swimmers were forced to compete against Leah Thomas. On top of that, share a locker room with Leah Thomas. A male, somebody with clear physical advantages, used to compete against the men, didn't do too well. The results clearly showed that. Again, I think Keith Olbermann should have done his research, thought to himself, well, let's cross over into the women's side of things and win something there. This is why she's out here doing all of this positive activism, protecting women's sports, making sure future situations do not happen. And let's be honest, Leah Thomas was only allowed to compete in the women's side of things because the world had reached a point where everything and anything was being accepted. If somebody came forward and said, hey guys, I'm XYZ, then everybody was forced to go along with it regardless of the situation. Society had become a place, and really still is a place in some aspects, where progressive agendas are pushed at the expense of women and men. It lets down women and men in the process. But apparently Keith Olbermann just can't see that, and Riley Gaines is a terrible swimmer. She's doing all of this because she lost. What a weak little man. Even Community Notes weighed in on this situation and delivered the facts to Keith Olbermann. That's when you know you effed up. Riley Gaines was a very successful swimmer, ending her college Wildcat career as one of the most decorated swimmers in the program's history. She played an instrumental role in the Wildcats clinching their first ever conference championship title in 2021. Now that doesn't sound like a terrible swimmer to me. That sounds like a very successful swimmer. It also sounds like this woman was subjected to things she shouldn't have been subjected to, along with the other female swimmers. But again, women aren't allowed to stand up for this issue. You know, they're mean, hateful, etc., the list goes on. But as the title and thumbnail of this video suggests, Riley Gaines responds and goes on to absolutely destroy Keith Olbermann, which is why we've got the New York Post headline of Keith Olbermann ripped after saying Riley Gaines sucked at swimming. You gotta love the liberals. They really do provide the entertainment these days. She firstly responds with, I now know why you were fired from ESPN. Yeah, I think we can all see clearly why. Keith Olbermann then carries this on and posts second team all conference. Happily for nasty, stupid, unsuccessful transphobe Riley Gaines, she has no reputation to ruin. I think a lot of jealousy is being projected here, and obviously somebody is quite miserable. As we know, misery does love company, and they will seek to bring anybody down, especially somebody with a lot of achievements, because it really does highlight their failures internally and makes them feel very insecure. But then comes the icing on the cake. Riley Gaines sends out this amazing 55-second video of her showing off her accolades, her achievements, which probably left Keith Olbermann in a state of frustration and anger. Take a watch.
All right, Keith, as I was getting my All-SEC first team honors down to show you, I dropped it and I broke it, which would be really unfortunate if I didn't have more of those, but lucky for me I do. So let's go through it. SEC title, second in the country. This is my SEC Community Service Leader of the Year award, which actually got me a lot of money. Oh, another SEC title, an NCAA trophy. Oh, look, SEC Scholar Athlete of the Year. Believe it or not, I'm pretty smart. Another SEC title, another NCAA trophy. Oh, that's when we won an SEC championship as a team. Some more SEC honors. Oh, look, another one. That's when I broke the 200 butterfly record, the SEC record, which I still hold, making me one of the fastest Americans of all time. And so, Keith, I would be really sad if I broke this trying to prove a point to an old man who can't even seem to keep a job. But I've got more of these, so I'm not. Thanks, Keith.
Now, if that was me, okay, and I got cooked like that on social media, I got embarrassed like that, I'll tell you now, I'd never step outside. Again, she absolutely wrecks him with facts and figures. There's no coming back from that one. Let's be honest here. But everybody is entitled to their own opinions, right? We're not saying that. But when you're coming at somebody with this sort of an agenda, you've done no research, your opinion really has no logic behind it in this case, right? Then everybody is allowed to ask the questions back and really ask you, you know, what's going on over there? Are you okay? Have you lost your mind? Because to call somebody a terrible swimmer when they're clearly not a terrible swimmer says to everybody, you clearly have other agendas. Riley Gaines has only ever made positive changes to sport. She's only doing good things, making those changes happen, getting those bills signed, asking the questions, hey look, what's going on? Would all of this be going on if Riley Gaines didn't come out with her story and raise awareness around that? Who knows? She has certainly inspired other women to come forward with their stories, their situations of issues happening with their sports. You see it all the time. You know, I would even argue if it wasn't for women like Riley Gaines, we wouldn't see this attention on women's sports and the issues they have been facing. That should be applauded. But Riley Gaines is ultimately right. To close out this video, we can all see why this man got fired from ESPN, because if your sporting analysis only stretches as far as calling a female swimmer terrible when she's clearly not, she's got the accolades, the achievements to prove that, and she's upset because she lost, I don't think you should be anywhere near a position to commentate on sports. Let's be honest here. But that is the end of the video. Ladies and gentlemen, leave your thoughts down below on this situation. I'd love to hear them all. If you have enjoyed today, please for me, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. Share this video. But until next time, it has been your boy JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out. Peace.